Minor 7 flat 5s are my favorite jazz chord, and in this video I'm going to explain why they're so useful and show some situations that you can use them in and how versatile they are. So hopefully today you learned something. Subscribe if you liked the video today, and let's get into it. Okay, now what is a minor 7 flat 5 chord? Basically you take a minor 7, which is a normal chord in jazz, and you flat the 5th, and usually a minor 7 flat 5 is used as the 2 chord in a minor 2-5-1. So for example, if we were in the key of G minor, that would be A minor 7 flat 5, and the notes would be A, C, E flat, and G. And that's not the only function though that it can have in jazz. Basically, in this video I'm going to show you so many different ways you can use that chord. It's so versatile, and it can really be a beautiful chord you can use in a lot of different situations. Let me show you some inversions on the top 4 strings for an A minor 7 flat 5 chord so you can get these under your fingers. I'm going to flash the tabs or the fingerings for them on the screen as I play them. Here are the inversions of an A minor 7 flat 5 chord on the top 4 strings. So I mostly use these voicings of an A minor 7 flat 5, but you also have like and you have, and those are good ways to start, but I think it's useful to learn them on the top 4 strings when you're comping. So practice those, get those under your fingers, and now I'm going to explain to you the great many uses of an A minor 7 or minor 7 flat 5 chord. So first, obviously, it serves as the 2 chord in most minor 2-5-1s, but there are 3 other situations where it's commonly used, and a minor 7 or minor 7 flat 5 chord can be used as a dominant chord in many cases. And what's a dominant chord? Well, a dominant chord is a chord that resolves to usually the 1 or the tonic in a key. So say we had a G7 going to a C major 7. That's dominant going to tonic. For the G7, we can play a B minor 7 flat 5 voicing, or even when you're soloing, you could play a B minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio. And it works because the notes in a B minor 7 flat 5, most of them are contained in a G7 chord. So you have B, D, and F, which are the top 3 notes in a G7 chord, and the notes that is added is an A, which would be the 9, and that's usually a good extra note for flavor that you add to a G7 chord. So a practical application of that would be, say you have a 2-5-1 in C major, so it's D minor 7, G7 going to a C major 7. What you could do is, so if in any 2-5-1 you take the dominant chord, the 5 chord, and you go up a major third from the root note, which in our case would be G going to B, and you take that third and you make a minor 7 flat 5 chord out of it, and you play either a voicing of that, or if you're soloing, you use a B minor 7 flat 5 arpeggio, and it's just a cool little trick to get a little bit more flavor because you have the 9 in there, and it's also just useful to have another tool for soloing and comping. Okay, let's see this in action. I'm going to play a 2-5-1 with the minor 7 flat 5 as a substitute for the 5 chord in a 2-5-1 in the key of C, and just show different versions and how that might sound and look. My bad. Okay, let's get into the next use of a minor 7 flat 5 chord. So this chord can also be used as as a substitute for the tonic in a minor key. So, for example, if we were playing the tune Autumn Leaves, when you get to the G minor chord, which is the key of the song, you get an E minor 7 flat 5, and that would be a substitute for a G minor tonic chord. And the reason it works is because the notes of an E minor 7 flat 5 would be E, G, B flat, and D. And all of those notes work in the context of a minor chord in jazz, because you have the E, which is the sixth, which is a very flavorful note on a G minor chord. You have the B flat, which is the third of a G minor chord, and you have the G, the root, and you have the D, which is the fifth. So it works very well. I use the minor 7 flat 5 voicing for the G minor chord all the time on that tune. And let me show you what it might look like. Okay, so you can play the E minor 7 flat 5 chord over Autumn Leaves on the tonic chord. You can also play it in the opening where it has the bass line that goes like boom, 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 boom. I'll just play it. So while, most people usually start the tune that way with that bass line. So while that's going on, you can play E minor 7 flat 5 chords like, you can play. Doesn't that sound spicy and cool? So, it's just anytime you have a standard in a minor key, on the tonic minor, just play a minor 7 flat 5 from the sixth of that minor chord. Okay, here, whoa. Okay, the last application I have for you is perhaps the spiciest of all, and it is using a minor 7 flat 5 chord as an altered 5 chord. It's very, very spicy. So the way I like to think of it is, say you have an A minor 7 flat 5. The trick is to play for the 5 chord going to the 1 in a minor key. You play a minor 7 flat 5 chord, a minor third up from the first A minor 7 flat 5 chord. So 2-5-1 minor key, G minor. We have an A minor 7 flat 5. We're going to play for the 5 chord, which is a D7 like flat 9 or just altered chord. We're going to play a C minor 7 flat 5, and that is going to give us a C, E flat, G flat, and a B flat. And the tensions that we get from that chord are you get the 7, you get the third, you get the third, you get the sharp 5 or the flat 6, and you get the flat second. So you get a bunch of great tensions doing this, and it's such an easy trick. Just take your first you take your first minor 7 flat 5 chord, and you go up a minor third, and then you have an altered chord that could lead very smoothly back into the 1 chord. And let me show you what that might sound like. Okay, let me show you what that's going to sound like. So you have this minor 7 flat 5 chord. If you go up a minor third, you get that chord, and that has all the necessary tensions to move smoothly into the tonic. So it sounds like this. Another way of playing it. You should be seeing the same shapes coming up, because just the the cool thing about this is that in a minor 2-5-1, you can use a minor 7-flat-5 chord for each of the chords. And to me, that's just a helpful way of thinking about it. It's just cool to me, man, you know? So in this instance, you're using obviously an A minor 7-flat-5 over the A minor 7-flat-5, but you're using a C minor 7-flat-5 over the D7 and an E minor 7-flat-5 over the G minor. And I know that can sound confusing, but I just think, like, try it out, try these inversions. They're very cool in my opinion, and you just get so much mileage out of these chords. And they're just a nice little trick in your bag of tricks. Yeah. That's all I got for today. Thank you very, very much for watching. Like and subscribe, of course, you know the deal, if you like the video. Comment down below if you want further videos on this kind of subject and maybe like more in depth. And I think that's it. Thank you very much.